In a small and serene village nestled among rolling hills and meandering streams, there lived a man named Lee who had earned a reputation for his life marked by hesitation and avoidance of responsibility. Although he was devoutly religious and deeply committed to his faith, he found himself in a constant struggle when it came to fulfilling his worldly duties. Lee had always been a devout worshiper of God. His life was a testament to his unwavering faith. He spent his days in meditation and devotion, seeking solace and divine guidance. However, his unwavering commitment to God had inadvertently led to a life marked by hesitation and procrastination when it came to his earthly responsibilities. The villagers knew Lee as a pious man, one who could be found immersed in his rituals day in and day out. They admired his devotion but couldn't help but notice the stark contrast between his spiritual dedication and his reluctance to tackle the responsibilities of daily life. One bright and sunny day, a revered sage named Kito arrived in the village. Kito was renowned for his wisdom and insight into the human psyche. He had a knack for helping people overcome their inner obstacles and lead more fulfilling lives. The villagers saw Kito as a beacon of light who could possibly help Lee overcome his dilemma. As the news of Kito's arrival spread, the villagers gathered to witness the sage's interaction with Lee. They were curious to see if the revered guru could inspire a change in Lee's life. Kito, adorned in saffron robes, approached Lee with a warm and reassuring smile. He recognized the turmoil in Lee's eyes, the inner conflict between devotion and responsibility. Lee hesitated but eventually spoke. "Kito, I have dedicated my life to God. I find solace in my prayers, but when it comes to worldly responsibilities, I am filled with doubt and fear. I am unable to fulfill my duties and this inner struggle torments me." Kito listened attentively and then nodded with understanding. He said, "Lee, devotion to God is a noble path, but it should not make you neglect your earthly responsibilities. They are not separate from your spiritual journey. They are an integral part of it. It is time for you to find balance and understand that your responsibilities too can be a form of devotion." Lee was intrigued by these words and his eyes widened with curiosity. Kito continued, "To help you understand the importance of taking responsibility and facing your dilemmas, I will share a valuable lesson with you. Come with me." Kito led Lee to the banks of a nearby river. The clear waters glistened in the sunlight, and the gentle sound of the flowing river created a soothing atmosphere. "Do you know how to swim, Lee?" Kito asked. Lee replied, "No, Kito, I have never learned to swim, and I have always been fearful of water." Kito nodded and said, "Fear is what we need to address today. Lee, I will help you overcome your fear." With that, Kito gently pushed Lee into the river. The sudden immersion in water left Lee in a state of shock. He thrashed about, frantically trying to stay afloat. Panic welled up within him and he cried out for help. Kito watched calmly, observing Lee's struggle. Then he waded into the river, supporting Lee and helping him regain his footing. Lee was trembling but safe. "Lee," Kito said, "in that moment of fear and struggle, you were able to stand up in the water because you realized the water was not as deep as you had imagined. Fear had made it seem insurmountable. Similarly, your responsibilities may seem overwhelming, but like the shallow water, they are often more manageable than they appear." Lee absorbed the lesson and felt a newfound sense of clarity. Kito continued, "You see, Lee, it's not about the enormity of the task, but your perception of it. By understanding the situation, you can face it head-on, and that is how you strengthen your mind." Lee realized that hesitation and avoidance were born from a lack of understanding and self-doubt. His fear of water had been dispelled, and now he was ready to confront his inner dilemmas. He returned to the village with a transformed outlook. Lee no longer saw his responsibilities as insurmountable obstacles. He began to assess each situation, understand its nuances, and face it with newfound resolve. His hesitation melted away, replaced by a sense of purpose and confidence. With his strengthened mind and renewed determination, Lee fulfilled his worldly duties with grace and diligence. He understood that embracing responsibility was not a burden but an essential part of his spiritual journey. He learned to balance his devotion to God with his responsibilities to his family and the community. As time passed, Lee's fear and hesitation faded into the background, like ripples on the surface of the river. He lived a life that honored both his commitment to God and his responsibilities, proving that facing situations with resolve could lead to a more fulfilled and empowered existence. In the end, Lee had discovered the profound truth that Kito had shared with him, that true devotion encompassed all aspects of life, and facing one's responsibilities was a form of devotion in itself.